You're watching Southern Nevada's #1 choice for news. This is News 3 at noon.
Well, when you think of the talented Dean Martin, so many memories come to mind, but not the more personal ones that only loved ones can tell. Martin's son Ricci has written a book about his much-loved father that will shatter some very popular myths, and Sue is with Ricci right now. Sue?
Yeah, and I'm so excited because I was telling Ricci Martin, I'm such a huge fan of Dean Martin. I'm sure all of our viewers out there are as well, and it's so great to have you here.
Thank you very much, Sue.
And during the whole newscast, during the commercial breaks, I'd be just thumbing through the book. That's Amore, of course, the title of one of his famous songs.
Right, yes.
And son remembers Dean Martin. And we want to talk a little bit about 3 marriages and 8 children.
Yes.
Where do you fall into that?
First, he was married to Betty. That was a brief marriage. That gave Craig, Claudia, Gail, and Dina. Then he married my mom, little Jeannie.
Jeannie. Was she an actress also starting out?
Model, Orange Bowl queen.
There you go.
Yeah.
A beauty.
Absolute gorgeous. Still is.
Still is.
Going to see her tonight, as a matter of fact.
Oh, yeah, she's coming down. We'll talk about that, too.
And then there was Dean Paul, myself, and Gina.
Okay, Jeannie's children, 3 children.
Correct.
Okay.
And then Dad remarried Kathy, and she had a daughter, Sasha, who Dad legally adopted. So that makes 8, I think.
So all of you Dean Martin kids were all together at some point?
Well, the older girls and Craig kind of left that house, you know, around the 60s because they were older, and away they went. So it was all different kind of phases when we were all together. But at a certain point, we have all been together, yeah.
Because Dean Martin, the Italian guy, loved families.
He did.
And loved children.
Didn't like parties.
Yeah, he
That's
wasn't
one of the
into
things.
Yeah, that's another one of those myths. You know, you think Hollywood types and entertainers love that kind of stuff.
Well,
but that
especially
wasn't
Dean
him.
Martin.
Yeah. What you thought was the ultimate partier was not really the case.
He was up at 6 a.m. golfing or going on location, but he was a habitual early riser and therefore early to bed too. So it was one of those kind of things. And he even called the police on one of my mom's parties. True story.
Really?
Yeah.
Another one of the myths we're going to shatter. Every time you saw Dean Martin, you saw him with his martini glass or drinks or what have you.
Scotch.
Right. Yeah. That's what you thought was always in there, but it was apple juice.
It was.
Yeah.
You can't do what Dad did and be bombed. And you wouldn't make the money that he made if you were always bombed. You know, with singing, stage, television, and motion pictures, you have to hit your mark, you have to be funny, you have to sing well, all those things. He made it look so easy, and that was part of the image. Everyone kind of had one of those things going for them in those days.
Right, and it was sometimes easy for him because I had read or seen also on his show when everyone was rehearsing over and over, here would come Dean Martin, basically just ad-lib everything, and it was perfect.
It was.
He didn't even need to do it at that point.
That was in his contract, too, where he would only have to do 1-day shoot. He'd come in, and that was part of the humor because he'd louse it up. He'd make mistakes. You could tell that he was reading. And it was one of the great joys. It just fit his personality so well.
He was just phenomenal. And of course, when you think of Dean Martin, you think of Jerry Lewis, Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis. And both Scott and I were asking you before the show, before your dad passed, were they on good terms?
Yes, they were. As a matter of fact, Jerry kind of snuck in and very politely attended the service for my brother Dean Paul after he passed away in '87. And that really impressed Dad so much that there was no fanfare about this. And so he asked his agent to get Jerry on the phone, and Dad told me then they would talk maybe once or twice a week. And that, I think, healed a lot of wounds. Unfortunately, it took that to do that, but that was really great for their relationship before the end, I think. And
being a loving father that your dad was, he never really got over your brother's death in an airplane accident.
You know, he was on his way. He was heading in that direction anyway, but that, you know, can really top it off, to tell you the truth. Yeah.
Now, your book came out in January.
Yes.
Now, you're having a book signing.
At the Sunset Station tomorrow at 2 o'clock. And then I'm also performing with Desi Arnaz Jr.,
who lives in Southern Nevada.
That is correct. And they had a group my brother called Dino Desi Billy years ago. It's now Ricky Desi Billy. So we're performing at the Sunset Station. So I'm having a book signing at 2 o'clock on Saturday. Then after the show, we're going to have another book signing and some CD signings at the Sunset Station, which is a fabulous hotel, I got to tell you.
It is a wonderful place, and you guys, you pack them in too.
Yeah, well, it's sold out.
That's great to hear. Give them the times once again for your book signing.
2 p.m. in the afternoon on Saturday, and then probably 9:45-ish that same evening.
Are we going to give this away to a lucky viewer?
I know you want to hold on to that.
I want to hold on to this, but you said you're going to send me one. But Ricci has signed this book, and we're going to give it away to a lucky viewer. Let's say caller number 3.
Why not?
Okay, caller number 3, you get the signed book from Ricci Martin about his wonderful father, Dean Martin. We'll be right back, folks.